Welcome to this video on a month of mindfulness, a short video series of monotangles in black and white with the emphasis on here and now with a pen. Today the tangle that I want to do is a very traditional one from Zen HQ called Florz. It gets its name from a Victorian kitchen tiled floor with those traditional white tiles and tiny black square tiles between them. However, instead of a flat floor today, we're going to draw a round floor. Sometimes it's like life, it has its changes, and it's how you look at something, and you can change your thoughts towards it. We're going to change our thoughts from being flat to round today. Perhaps you're feeling a little flat about something in your life, and what can we do to make it more rounded? So today, because I have a little hexagon shaped tile, and you might be working in a journal, if you are, just look for an orb shape string. One section that you can fill that's nice and round. So I'm just going to use my pencil today to draw my orb in. And then how do I make this flat floor more rounded? The way I like to do this one is I'm going to find the top and the bottom. So if you're working on a bigger page, just look for the 12 and the 6 on an analog clock. So this will be my top and my very bottom. And I'm going to start not quite in the middle, not right underneath, but just off to the side. And I'm just going to sweep my first pen line just in a gentle curve, very gradual curve. Then I'll rotate the tile and do the same thing again, just a gentle curve. These two aren't joining in the middle, and it doesn't matter if they're not symmetrical. And then I'm going to go a little bit further out, a little bit further along. Instead of doing the gentle curve, I'm going to make it a little bit deeper. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Rotate my tile the whole 180 degrees, and instead of doing a gentle curve, I'm going to make it slightly bigger. And then the last one, I'm actually going to use the string that I've got here. And so I'm going to use this orb because this is my bigger curve, and just pop it in with a pen. Then I'll rotate my tile around and do the same thing again. Once I have these grid lines, I'm now going to switch my tile 90 degrees and do the same strokes again. So imagine this is the middle. I'm just going to go slightly to the left and do a gentle curve from the top line to the bottom line. Then I'll rotate my tile a whole 180 degrees and do the same stroke again, just with a gentle curve. Then the next one coming out, just the same as before. Just do a slightly less gentle curve. It's got a bigger curve to it. And I'll do the same thing. Turn my tile again 180 degrees and do the same stroke again. And what I often find with my last one is that I can actually draw the same orb string line and join my last two lines. We're now going to draw our rounded Florz. So Florz is one that has a little black diamond in between each of the indices of my grid. And I like to do one and then fill it. Almost think of it sometimes as sort of rounding the corners of the tiles, of the squares, sorry. I don't think I have a particular rhythm and flow for how I do it. I tend to do, though, often follow one line up into the section until I've done all of the diamonds on that one. But it doesn't matter where you start. And each time, even though you've got these curved lines, you can still get your little black diamonds in. Not too big, leaving enough white, big white grid squares, but just taking off the corners. Fill each one as you go, or not. And once I've done all of the ones that are on the inside, just where I've got an indices, a junction, I'll just add half a diamond around the edges. And it's easy to rotate the tile, and do each one as you come across it. And these is where they will be the closest together with your curved lines. Then, once you have got all your black diamonds down, just pick up your pen. And we're just going to add a little bit of graphite on the inside of our original section edge or our string line. Just taking my graphite, holding my pencil quite flat, and just heading off around my orb, turning my tile so I can leave my drawing hand in the same spot. And once I come back to the beginning of my graphite, I'll switch to my tortillon and gently pull that graphite into the middle. I love the noise that the tortillons make as you feel the graphite pushing into the texture of the paper. Enjoy listening to that too. And once you've got just your tortillon left, you might just want to pull the graphite in just very gently without adding any more graphite onto the tortillon, and gently pull it in so you have it darker and very white in the middle. And often I will then go back with my pencil and just make it really dark around the outer edge, almost like a wee shadow, a bit heavier with my graphite the second time round. And just to take any line that might be there, I will just ever so gently just blend that heavier graphite in just around the edges. If you want to add a little bit of shading around the outside, you're welcome to do so. If this is just one area in a bigger piece, you won't need to, because you'll take the shading from the one next door. If your orb is not perfectly central or perfectly circular, don't worry. Where I've got a little bit of a lip in here, it was just enough space for me to add my chop. So however you chose to do your Florz today, perhaps you did go quite traditional and do very much so a grid-based Florz, or perhaps you had a real wiggle on and you've gone very, very wiggly with your Florz. Sometimes when life's a bit flat, you can just look at things in a slightly different way, because changing that elemental thought about something, did it give it a little bit more of a rounded life? Enjoy.